There's this anime series called Ghost Stories, and my understanding is it was made by some like legendary writer. It was super hyped. Everyone's like, "This is going to be the best thing ever. This is going to be like super revolutionary." And then it came out and it was god awful, and nobody liked it, and it had every generic, bland cliche possible, and it was so bad. They're like, "How are we going to release this in North America even?" And they went, okay, so what we're gonna do is this was all 4D chess. This was our plan all along. We're just gonna make the dub completely batshit crazy. The cast can just ad lib. You guys can just say anything, and it turned out to be amazing. So they took this boring, horrible anime, and they like one of the girls is like an evangelical Christian. She's like, all you have to do is close your eyes and pray, and not be a Jew or a Muslim. And like they talk about like Rush Limbaugh and Michael Savage and just like random like dirty jokes from like the young kid. It's really really good. But I bring this up because that's what I feel this is like. I feel like Blood Sea was initially intended to be something else. Like, because I feel like what happened was they're like, okay, we're going to make this magical girl anime. It's going to be a girl in high school, and she's going to be the daughter of a shrine priestess who used a katana to fight these unexplained monsters during the nighttime, but during the day she's an awkward schoolgirl. And there's this guy who's kind of ambiguously gay who lives next door to her, and he makes like coffee for her every day and like candy and that kind of thing, and just everybody in her life just kind of revolves around her, and it's literally every cliche possible. And then they were like 10 episodes in and they're like, oh my god, this is shit. This is horrible. What have we done? And off of that, they're like, okay, this was all a subversion. Yes, this entire thing was just a subversion. It we didn't do this we did this on purpose. We made it bad on purpose. And the first and there's going to be spoilers, of course, but the first 9-10 episodes of Blood Sea are some of the worst thing I've ever seen. Like, it's so boring. The characters are so bland. They're so flat. Clamp is... I'm not a big fan of Clamp. Some of their character designs are okay. Some of them aren't. I just remember hating, everything Clamp's been involved with. The only thing I don't really hate that Clamp's done is Code Geass, although I think they only did the art for it. But even then, there's, a lot of just Clamp tropes they shoved into it. So, I mean, the issues with this just shouldn't have really been the problem. But this was really highly recommended. It was really highly rated, and a bunch of websites were like, "Oh, if you like horror, dark fantasy anime, you're gonna like this." And for the first 9 episodes, I'm like, "What the fuck is this? This is so bad." I can't even remember. I think the only two characters' names I can remember is Saya and Fumito. And those are literally the only two people I can remember. The rest of her classmates are just boring, cliche stereotypes. There's the big sister, sort of bad girl. There's the class rep whose feelings are unrequited because she actually is in love with the bad boy. There's the hot young teacher. There's every cliche possible. And then it's just and they're like, okay, no, this was all on purpose. So what we're going to do is we're going to just say that this was one big troll, and we're going to go back and pad this shitty series by putting in the goriest violence possible. So let's just talk about what the big twist is. So I think it's episode 9 or 8 or 9 or something, where these elder barons or whatever the hell they're called, the unexplained monsters, attack her school and kill everybody in it. And I'm like, this is shocking. You killed off the main cast. I might not have remembered their names, but it's weird to have so much speaking role character death in a show like this. And that was the first time I'm like, okay, I guess they just realized how much this sucked. And they're like, okay, let's just get rid of these useless characters. And then in like the next episode, it's revealed that the whole thing was like the Truman Show. That Saya is the victim of Fumito's plan. Okay, so Saya is some unexplained magical creature. They don't really talk, like, say what she is. I mean, is she a vampire? Is she an elder baron? Is she Casper the Friendly Ghost? We don't know, and this was not deemed important. Her singing some more of her song on the chores she was going to do. So the backstory, and this is just from what I'm guessing, so Saya is this unexplained, all-powerful entity who eats elder barons because of an oath that's never explained that she wouldn't eat humans. So I guess she is a vampire, but she's a vampire that only eats monsters. Can she eat human flesh? I don't know. It's never explained. So she gets captured or something. I'm not really sure. And then Fumito's like, we have this pact with the Elder Barons that they're allowed to eat humans one night a year on Shrovetide, or one night every couple of years on Shrovetide. And I'm really worried about them, and I think that the power imbalance has grown to the point where we can take them out. And then he's like, okay, so he wants to use her as a weapon to free humanity from the demons. He's like, but that's not my plan. My plan is I'm going to pull a Dark City. I want to understand the true nature of the human soul. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe your memory, and I'm going to put you into the Truman Show. And we're going to bet whether or not your personality is going to change. And if I win, you have to do something. I don't think it was specified. But if you win, then I'll remove the oath to you that isn't allowing you to kill humans. So I was just like, what do these two things, like, what does this have to do with anything? Like, why are we introducing this, like, this completely new, like I said, like Dark City, where they're like moving memories around to try to determine what part of consciousness is the human soul. Like, why is this even inserted? It's just like one of the single laziest asspulls I've ever seen. I'm sure they'll say, oh no, we planned this out from the beginning, guys. It was really good. It's our 4D chess. We fooled you all with how boring and crappy this thing is. And so then, like, the last two episodes are just everybody whose names I can't remember telling Saya, oh, we never loved you. You're evil. You're a bitch. And then Saya gets her real personality back for like half an episode, except she doesn't really say or do anything, so we have no idea what her real character is. And then she gets shot in the head by Fumito, and he leaves, and there's no resolution. It's like, buy our fucking movie now. Like, we couldn't give you a plot. We couldn't give you anything in the main series. It's all going to be explained in the movie, guys. It's not like with Evangelion, where like the series like kind of finished. I mean, episode 24. I guess we could all say it's not as satisfying. It wouldn't have been a satisfying ending on its own. If it had just ended after that, that wouldn't have been a bad place to stop. It wouldn't have resolved a bunch of stuff, but I mean, it would have resolved most of the main plot. Like episode 25 and 26, the reason people wanted the movie is just because they ran out of money and used stock footage. I mean, there's a lot of stuff about 25, like particularly 26, that was like good. And there was like some good ideas, and it was like an actual ending. But the movies were just kind of like, okay, we're going to do what we would have done if we had a budget. Overall, though, this is a terrible anime, with the exception of the contrived twist at the last minute. And I gotta say, people can say what they want. They can say this is like Blood is some bigger universe, some bigger continuity. Oh, it's this brilliant inversion. Nothing's going to convince me that this wasn't something else that they repurposed at the last minute to be like a dark fantasy series. Or a horror gore series because they realized how bad it was. Anyways, those are my thoughts on the matter. Hope you enjoyed this review, and more content to